You all know, right, that you have Australia to thank for this.
I'm the Joker, baby!
You want to talk about most iconic Joker performances? He's got to be on that list. Okay, Joker 2 everybody, let's talk about it. If you saw my little short video I put out yesterday, you'll know I am probably one of the 1%, maybe even less, that did not hate this movie. It's actually shocking to me how aggressive and visceral the response has been to this movie. I had no excitement for this movie. Let me just start off by saying that. I loved the first one when I saw it. I think I've seen it one more time since, and that's enough for me. It's not a movie I want to keep revisiting. The first experience of watching that movie is great. It's in my head, that's all I want. It's not, it's a very dark, bleak film. And it's not necessarily the best movie ever made, so I've got that one experience and I'm happy with that. So when they announced a sequel, to me it was like, oh, that's weird, I didn't expect that. And then obviously we all heard the news that it would be a musical and this and that. And then we saw the trailers and it's fine. But it was nothing to excite me, and obviously no one else is excited because I was one of 3 people in the theater on the second night of release. That's really bad. What I'm trying to set up right now is I had no excitement. I had seen a few reviews prior, nothing spoilery. Pretty much every single one of them said it was bad and used the word hate. With Joker 2, it's not just trash. There is a lot to love here. I understand why people are getting mad, but at the same time, I'm also like, relax. It's a movie. Let me tell you about my immediate reaction first. I have this review set up into chapters, so we're gonna discuss things that fall under the umbrella of each chapter. First off, initial review. I think I respect this movie more than I truly liked it. I sat there kind of like smiling because I was enjoying it. Like, there are so many small moments and things that happen, whether it's Joaquin Phoenix's acting choices, even Lady Gaga, she impressed me. Her choices, or the music, or the way it looks. I'm just sitting there just like, wow, that's cool, that's badass, that looks great, that sounds great. Ooh, there's so many moments of that. There's a lot of greatness here. But then there's also a lot of times where I'm sitting there like, oh, so another song, and another song, and another song. I'll get into the songs more soon, but that was my biggest complaint. The musical aspect of the movie is not what you think. It's not an overtly dramatic, over-the-top musical. It's more, and I saw Todd Phillips do an interview where he said it, it's like a jazz bar, one night only kind of deal where you're gonna capture this fantastic artist for one night, and if you miss it, you miss it. And that's what this felt like. It felt intimate and personal, the musical numbers, not like statements, like a La La Land, right? I actually like how it was done, but in saying that, it was done a little too often. The musical numbers sort of capped off each portion of the film. So something would happen in reality, and then Arthur would fantasize this musical aspect. And that happened, and happened, and happened. And that really killed the pacing. But the musical aspect of this movie, to me, made me feel like I was inside the head of a madman. I'm going from really dark, violent scenes to these rather well-shot musical numbers, and I'm like, it's like whiplash. It's not tonal whiplash because it all feels in the same tone, but it's just whiplash of, whoa, we're going here and here and here. I kind of felt crazy watching it. I think deep down, maybe that's what they were going for. It's hard to explain, but I sat there thinking the whole time, yes, this is a crazy person's mind. So that aspect of the movie, I'm circling back now, I find really effective. And I like that this is not a typical sequel. That's the one thing I keep seeing the reviews say, oh, it's not what you expect from a Joker 2. I would never have expected a Joker 1. We've got Joker 1. To me, it's not ruined. It's there, it exists. The biggest complaint I see about this movie is, oh, it ruins the ambiguity of Joker 1. I don't think it does at all. I don't think anyone walked out of... I mean, look, I know how the internet works at this point. People are gonna comment, It does ruin the ambiguity. And here's why, ... Whereas, that's not what you were thinking when you walked out of Joker 5 years ago. When I walked out of Joker 5 years ago, I was like, holy fuck. They pulled off a Joker origin movie. Did you see Murray Franklin get shot in the head? How cool the build-up was, the music, everything? That was so sick. What a visceral experience. That's how people walked out of Joker. No one walked out of Joker going, well, I don't really know what happened. What a masterpiece. That is a fabricated, after-the-fact thought that people had. Yes, that movie was ambiguous, but that is not why you loved it. You loved it because it was just a damn good experience. It was a damn good movie. Yes, the ambiguity is a part of that story because the unreliable narrator aspect of it questions everything. But to answer things in black and white in this movie of what actually happened versus what didn't happen doesn't matter to me. I saw someone argue that at the end of Joker 1, he walks out of this like interrogation room and you could see the bloody footprints behind him, implicating that he killed the doctor he was talking to. In this movie, they name all his victims and that doctor's not on the list. So that doctor survived, and that ending to Joker 1, I guess, was a part of his visions or mind. So are you really telling me that you, after seeing this movie, if you're one of those people, you're sitting there going, oh, that doctor survived, that ruins the movie. Like, move beyond the stupid arguments, people. Can we actually look into things a little bit more than the superficial? Please. That was a really long tangent I just went on. I'm sorry. To sum up my initial reaction, I liked the movie. I respect it. I really do. I think it is the sort of movie you watch once and go, interesting, and then move on. That's what my relationship will be with Joker 2. I'll never watch it again, but I won't go around saying it sucked, because to say this sucked is almost insulting to someone that actually has a love for the craft of filmmaking. This is a filmmaker's film. Like, this is crafted in every aspect so well, and I'm gonna get into them. But to say that, it's really insulting. Okay, so let's do acting first. Joaquin Phoenix. If this was the first Joker movie, the reaction wouldn't be so angry, and quite honestly, he could be up for the Oscar again. He's lost all the weight, he is incredible, he's singing in this, he's dancing in this, he's almost doing more in this movie than the first one. If he wins an Oscar for the first movie, why can't he win one for this? He's incredible. When Joaquin Phoenix has the makeup on, the Joker makeup on, he looks so intimidating. And his presence is just truly unmatched. His eyes are so captivating. He's never actually Joker in this movie till the very end. Everything you see of Joker is in his mind, but even so, I just like watching it. Lady Gaga continues to impress me. I hate Harley Quinn. Let me tell you one thing right now. I hate Harley Quinn. I hate the idea of the character. I hate the fact that the Joker would even consider a relationship with a crazy woman. The Joker having crazy fangirls that Harley Quinn could be a part of. Sure, people love bad people, so the idea of Harley Quinn as a character existing makes sense, but I've always hated the pairing of the two, always. And Margot Robbie, I love you, but your Harley Quinn annoys me because it's the over-the-top Brooklyn accent. This person wouldn't be real. It's a cartoon character. That's where she started, a cartoon, right? Now, I'm not saying these colorful characters can't exist, but what Lady Gaga does in this movie is made me believe in the relationship between these two people. They're not together. They're fucking each other up. That's the point. They're both nuts. And Lady Gaga was really good in the movie. This is my favorite portrayal of Harley Quinn. Go shoot me. Let's talk about the writing. So I said earlier, this film acts more as an epilogue to the first movie. It's not like a new plot here. It's just a continuation. There isn't like some inciting incident to say, we're going on a new adventure journey here. No, this is wrapping up the first movie, which is where I will agree with audiences. Yes, this movie doesn't need to exist, but it does. It doesn't piss me off that it does. I will concede, yeah, this movie doesn't need to exist. But also, the first movie made $1 billion. So of course, a sequel was gonna happen. I'm not mad that businesses try to make business. We all say, oh, why don't movies do anything different anymore? Where are all the original ideas? This is an original movie. Even though it's a sequel, it's an original story and very originally told, a Joker musical, and yet everyone's shitting on it. Like, this is what I'm talking about with the middle ground. Why can't people just come out and say, not for me, but man, they swung for the fences. I don't have much to say about the writing other than to say it's well written. The dialogue's good, nothing feels contrived. The musical aspects I touched on before do drag the pacing. There's too much music in this movie. Like, something will happen in real life, cut to musical. Too many times and too long. This movie is 2 hours and 20 minutes long. Easily 15 minutes, 20 minutes could come out of this thing. It did drag. It did. I found myself quite often going, when's it gonna pick up? Now, I wasn't bored, but I was feeling the runtime. And there are some more questionable things I want to talk about in the writing aspect, which we will in spoilers. Okay, the filmmaking, this will be quick. It's all positive. It looks so good. It sounds so good. The score, the sound effects, visceral. Oh, this is masterfully put together in all these aspects. It's a filmmaker's, you could observe this and go, yep, that's how you do that, and that's how you do that, and that's so well done, and that's so well done. And this is where Todd Phillips does such a good job. This is a guy that made Starsky and Hutch, Old Boys, Old Dogs, what was it? Old School with Will Ferrell, great movie. Like all these raunchy comedies, The Hangover 2 and 3, and then done a few mediocre movies in the 2010s, but Joker and then this, he's really shown and proved himself as a great filmmaker. And people are saying, oh, Todd Phillips, he did it for the money, he doesn't care about the fans. I mean, where are you getting that from? Like, stop that. If he did it for the money, so what? People make money and get paid to do things they're good at.
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
The score, that's one of my notes. It's fantastic. The first movie, that was a standout. The score, like that, those violins, brilliant, comes back here. The music of these Joker movies really makes this pathetic Arthur character into a really almost epic and mythical kind of character in his own way. Music is so important to movies, and the Joker movies get it. I've got 2 notes here for notable remarks. 1, the violence is so well done. This movie and the first one, the violence just feels visceral. Every gunshot is so loud. When a head is put against a wall, you feel it. You sort of wince in your seat and it's like, whoa! And this could just be because I was really close to the screen, but the violence is so full on and feels real. I think that's why it's so affecting. And Joaquin, one more thing on him. He's so good when he's in that Joker persona. I wish he was an actual Batman Joker. Like, I wish he actually faced off with a Batman in a movie. And now we get to spoilers where I can talk briefly about things. I really just need to talk about the last 15 minutes because that's where a lot of things actually happen that you're not expecting. And I will say this, throughout the whole movie, I did not know how it was going to end, which was kind of refreshing because quite often you can just tell where things are going nowadays. And this was just like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Right up until the very end. So I give props to the movie for that, keeping me invested in what's gonna happen. Let's get into the last 15 minutes now. So on the last day of the trial of the Joker, the courtroom explodes and Arthur makes an escape. He sort of gets picked up by these Joker lookalikes and they're trying to get him away because they sort of revere him. And then, he has his arc throughout the movie where he realizes he's not the Joker, he's just Arthur. So he gets away from those guys to try and get back to Harley, who at this point has left him because she's only in love with the Joker persona, not Arthur. They meet up on the stairs, the iconic stairs. He begs her to, be with him. She says no. And then she sort of just leaves the movie. I found that very underwhelming. They set up earlier in the movie that Harley is pregnant. They never went anywhere with that. She sort of just said it, and then that was it. The whole subplot with Harley was all over this movie and just really didn't have any payoff. It really didn't. That's a big criticism I have. Harley does not have a payoff. And then Arthur gets arrested, again after meeting with Harley, put back in Arkham, and then he gets shanked to death by Joker 2.0. Then the movie just ends, and this is where I see people getting angry. I get it, it's an abrupt end. It's probably not how we want to see this character go out, being as cool as he was in the first movie. There is a great line in his trial where he says, knock knock, who's there? Arthur Fleck. Arthur Fleck who? And that's it. And it's like, that's a pretty good line. And that's such a perfect line thematically. It's in the structure of a joke, but he means it as he's nothing. And that's the whole theme of the movie. He's nobody. I think that's kind of clever. And then another thing I think is kind of clever is how it ends. So there's this guy in Arkham that we see like twice. I mean, this could have been better set up. It definitely could. I am not praising this. I'm just saying I don't mind it as an idea. You see this random guy, he looks a bit jittery, jokery. He kind of reminded me of Cameron Monaghan, who played Joker in Gotham, that show. At the end of the movie, he comes out of nowhere. First time he speaks and says, Joker, I've got a joke for you, blah, 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 you get what you fucking deserve. And he shanks him to death, right? Arthur Fleck dies, and while he's dying, in the background, you see this guy cut his face open, like Heath Ledger's Joker, creating a smile, and he starts laughing like a madman, essentially becoming the next iteration of the Joker. The longer this sits on me, the more I love it. What this movie is doing is saying, Joker is an idea. I'm an idea. I'm an idea. You know, Jared Leto said it. This movie shows it. Everyone's in love with Joker. There's revolt across Gotham. There's all this stuff, right? Joker could be anybody and everybody. When Joker got lost in the crowd in the first movie on the subway station, proves that point again. Here, an actual guy takes him out and cuts his face. He will probably be a version of the Joker, more in physical stature, but Joker could be anybody. It's an idea, it's a revolution, and Arthur Fleck was the incitement of that craziness. I kind of love that. As these movies are just sort of one-off movies, now two off, that don't tie into any other Batman story, what does that matter? This is Todd Phillips and the writers saying, well, this is our version of the Joker. Heath Ledger's Joker is wildly different to Jack Nicholson's. Jared Leto, different again. That's an interesting way to end your movie. And I sat there for a good 10 minutes after that movie last night just going, wow, that's kind of clever. I think, anyway, it's kind of clever. Another thing I love about these two Joker movies now is it's actually like an origin story for Gotham. The Joker's sort of rise to power here creates chaos through Gotham, okay? You got Harley Quinn's origin, you've got Harvey Dent's origin. He gets burned from the explosion at the courthouse in this movie, and they don't dwell on it. It's just a shot in the background of Harvey. Two-Face. Cool. Obviously, the Waynes got shot in the last movie. There's a new Joker at the end of this movie. This is okay with me. And yeah, my final point is that people just keep saying it ruins the ambiguity of the first movie. I don't think so at all. You can just choose to ignore it. That's the point of ambiguity, right? You can take what you want. This movie really doesn't concretely say much that differs from the first movie, in my opinion. It really doesn't. We all knew what was basically going on in the last movie. He's fantasizing relationships and killing people and doing stand-up acts. We know what was real and what wasn't real most of the time. I don't understand what was so ambiguous about the ending. He was locked up in Arkham. That was the ending. You wouldn't get it. It's not that deep, bro. Get over it. I think people are just saying that as a talking point to shit on this movie. And I'm sorry if you're one of them. I'm not having a go. I'm just saying it's an observation I've had that people throw around a lot of the same points, and a lot of the time, I don't think they know what they're talking about. Let me finish off. I like the movie. I'll never watch it again. I would recommend you see it just to see what you think. Sure, You might not like it, but you'll at least watch it and give it a go, give it a chance. We don't get sequels, movies like this, really ever. They took a chance. It's not going to pay off. I think this movie's going to bomb. So, I don't know. If you hate this movie and you want to see it fail, there you go. You're seeing it fail. You get what you fucking deserve. And yeah, that's Joker 2. Folie. Folie. You know what? A big reason why this movie is going to bomb is that terrible title. I can't believe I haven't spoken about the title. Like, what a terrible, Joker Part 2. Joker Chapter 2. Joker 2, with the 2 eyes, because 2 eyes looks more professional than the 2. Joker Folie. Stupid title.